What's going on, guys? So this is exciting. I have an Xbox Series X. I just pre-ordered this last Thursday. I know this is kind of a weird camera angle. I'm kind of looking down at the webcam here. But I've never owned an Xbox before, and this is the first Xbox I ever owned. I've always been a PlayStation guy, and I still am a PlayStation guy. I have a PlayStation 5. I pre-ordered it, and I got it on day one. I got it back in November there. But Microsoft has been making the right moves, and I like what they're doing with Xbox Game Pass. They've always had a great controller, well, at least since the 360 days, and I do like the PS5 controller as well, but I always was kind of jealous of the previous Xbox's controllers, because I thought they were superior to the previous PlayStation's controllers. And it's my cat Marvin, by the way. And there's certain franchises on Xbox that I've kind of missed out on. I mean, I've played Halo. I've played plenty of Halo multiplayer at friends' houses before, and I've played a little bit of the campaigns, but I haven't sat down and played a whole Halo campaign before, so I'm gonna be able to do that with Game Pass here. And what I really like about Game Pass is that it's such a great value, and it's gonna allow me to really try out games that maybe I wouldn't have been willing to pay a full $60-$70 for, but now because I'm paying a subscription, I can just I'm not playing the game for free, but I'm playing the game for a lot lower cost. And I think it's going to be a great way to demo games, and maybe widen my interest in games. That maybe games genres that I never really tried out. Maybe I'll become compelled to play more games like those. But anyway, without talking too much, I got a dual charging station for the Xbox controllers. I do have an Xbox One controller as well that I used a little bit on my PC, and did a little bit of PC gaming when I first built my PC a few years ago, but haven't really done too much. But so I didn't buy another Xbox Series X controller, because I'm pretty sure you can use Xbox One controllers on the Series X, and there's not really like a great difference between the Xbox Series X controller and the Xbox One controller. And I also did get the Seagate expansion, 1 terabyte, which these consoles now they don't have a lot of storage. I mean, 1 terabyte sounds like a lot, but and they do use solid state drives now, but they can fill up pretty fast. And this was expensive. This cost over $200, but luckily I had Best Buy gift cards, and I basically spent like $5 for this thing. This is normally, I think, like $230. So, and I did buy this from Best Buy. I saw on Twitter like last week that they had a restock, and I was thinking about buying a Series X, and I was like waiting for the right time. So I was like, you know what? I've saved up my money. Let's get it now. And I think Xbox is headed in the right direction, and I think PlayStation and them are it's gonna be a good competition. I think both are on their A game right now, and even Nintendo. I have a Switch too. I think everyone is just doing great, and they're all platforms are doing great for different reasons, which is cool, and it's a fun time to be a gamer. But so let's take a look at this box. I just dropped my my expansion here. Let me get that. So. Yep, Xbox Series X, and on the back here, what does it say on the side here? So it's just like all the things it can do: 4K, 120 frames per second, 8K HDR if you have an 8K TV, Xbox Velocity architecture. I don't care. All right. Whoa! Smashed my keyboard. So this is kind of cool. Look how this is packaged. And it says, this is the Series X slogan, "Power Your Dreams." And I guess that's the console right there. It's very fancy packaging. if I don't say so myself. Alright, let's not drop the console. That'd be great. Alright. Wow. It's got some heft to it. I don't know if it weighs more than PS5, but definitely got some heft. Alright, let's open this. So I'm probably only going to play games digitally on this console since I'll have Game Pass, but I mean, you never know. I could buy some physical games if they don't have it on Game Pass for whatever reason. And I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if this console ends up being the console I use more this generation, just because of Game Pass and how great of a deal it is. But there's the console, the Xbox button there to turn it on, and the disc tray, and USB port in the front here. I think that's the sync button for the controllers. And then on the back here, you got all the slots, storage expansion. I don't know if I'm doing a good job of showing. Ethernet, USB, all the standard stuff, HDMI. But yeah, this is definitely a little bit smaller than the PS5, but it's also a different shape than the PS5 too, of course. I'm just gonna put the console down here for a second. Hopefully, Marvin's looking at it. It doesn't do anything. Alright, so where's the controller? So we got foam slots. This is very high quality packaging. I gotta say, Xbox has a leg up in the packaging department over PlayStation. And I still love my PS5, but I just want to get the best of both worlds this generation. I've always been a PlayStation guy. There's an HDMI cable. Woohoo. Standard power cable. Yeah, and I'm playing Ratchet and Clank on the PS5 right now, and I'm really enjoying it. And I think Xbox is the reason I'm more enticed by Xbox is because it seems like they're going to have more great exclusives that I think they're going to have more exclusive games now because they have more studios than PlayStation. Doesn't mean that their best games will be better than, games like God of War or Last of Us or Uncharted, but I think they're, with all these studios that they've acquired, they have a good chance of finding some or making some great games, and that's been Xbox's biggest problem is just exclusive games. But anyway, here's the controller, and it feels a little bit different, the Series X controller. Definitely more of a texture feel to the back here. But other than that, it doesn't really feel that much different. And if they include batteries, of course, Xbox controllers still use batteries. I don't know why, but whatever. And I think that is everything. Alright, so I'm back. As you can see, I have my PS5 over here. I know this is kind of a strange angle. This video's full of strange angles. But I'm going to put my Series X right here. So I'm going to have to move my Wi-Fi extender here. But for now, I think I'll just put it, let's move it to the side here a little bit. I may keep it there, but it's kind of weird to have it just behind the TV. But Series X will go here. Ta-da! Here it is in all its glory. But yeah, so Xbox on one side, PS5 on another. Hey, what's going on, guys? So I've been experiencing some technical problems here. Twice I
I wanted to record footage of me on my webcam and just showing you the Xbox Series X dashboard. And I recorded it initially the night I got it. Here I am Sunday, and I'm re-recording it again because I was trying to edit a video together. But anyway, I'll be able to give it a little bit more background, or have a little bit more expertise on this dashboard since I've been using it for a few days now. But as you can see, I have Halo, Master Chief Collection, and Forza Horizon 4. Those are the two games I've played so far. I haven't played anything else. Actually, I take that back. I did play Unravel. As you can see, I have a lot of games that I got from Game Pass. And I mean, I plan for my Xbox Series X to be a Game Pass machine. I don't, like I said previously, I don't plan to buy too many games for my Series X. And with my PS5, I probably will buy more games for that. I'll be curious to see which console I end up playing more this generation. I know I said may end up playing the Series X more, but I'm not sure if that will be the case. I'm still a PlayStation guy at heart. But I wanted to talk about Forza Horizon 4 here because I've never played Forza. Or I played a little bit on PC back a few years ago, but I didn't really dive into it. I'm really enjoying it so far. I think it's really cool how you're driving around in this big open world set in England, and it's very realistic looking. And you can tell that the developers, like they showed in the Xbox presentation, that for every Forza game that they go to these locations and they try to create a one-for-one in-game, what do you call it, simulation of that area of the world. And I know Forza Horizon 5 is coming out, and I know they spent a lot of time in Mexico, and that's where the game will be set, is in Mexico. But it feels like, it feels like a real location in England that I'm driving around, and there's all these events. And admittedly, I'm not very good, but I'm enjoying learning about the game and leveling up my cars and changing my car's appearance and whatever. But I'm enjoying this game more than I thought I would. And the Halo Master Chief Collection, it's Halo. I'm playing Halo Reach. I've never played Halo Reach before, and it's taken some used to getting. I used to RB for a melee and LB to sprint, but I'm used to it being different. But I mean, I enjoy Halo for what it is, but it's not like Halo Reach is doing anything different. That's like, okay, this feels completely different. I mean, I played Halo a number of times over buddies' houses through the years. I haven't played through the main campaigns from start to finish. But, it's Halo, and I enjoy Halo for what it is. And I think it's cool how you can... I changed the main color of this dash to be blue, so as you can see, a lot of the tiles are blue, and whenever I get an achievement, it pops up blue instead of green, which I may change because I feel like green's kind of like the default color for Xbox. I mean, that is their color. But maybe I'll show you some of Game Pass here. And before I get into Game Pass here, I just want to say I do think this is a good controller. It hasn't changed much since Xbox 360 days. There's a little bit more texture on the back here. And the controller, I think, vibrates in slightly different ways. But no, I mean, it feels good in the hands, this controller. I think the DualSense, I actually do think I prefer the PlayStation 5 DualSense controller, just because this controller doesn't have the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers, which I think, honestly, those features make DualSense controller, make the PS5 a legitimate next-gen feature there for the PS5, I should say. But no, I don't hate this controller. I think it's good. I just think Sony finally has a controller that rivals an Xbox controller, and I think previous generations Xbox was winning as far as the controller game. But I think Nintendo with their Pro controller, that controller is great. This controller is great, and the PlayStation controller is great. So no complaints from any of the three major console makers as far as controllers. But anyway, so Game Pass, just going through here, there's so many games that I can check out here because it's my first Xbox and this goes back previous generations. Uh, I mean, there's certain multi-platform games on here that I have played, but a lot of these games I haven't played, or I haven't played in a long time and want to play again, like Bejeweled 3. I used to play Bejeweled back on my PC a long time ago, but I mean, that's more of a casual puzzle game. But I'm enjoying playing. I played a little bit of that, so that's actually another game I played. I played 4 games, but I've only played that for a few minutes. Um, and then they have games like Control, which I already played, but I love that game. A very underrated game. Has a very creepy atmosphere, and it's kind of like a psychological thriller. And the gameplay is really fast paced, which I like. But no, I think Control is a very underrated game that if you're into third person action games with a cool story, then I would definitely recommend this game. Crisis games, I never played them, but maybe I'll check them out. I did download Dark Pictures here, Dark Pictures Anthology, Man of Medan. That's the first one in the series. I know they came out with, I think, was it A New Hope? Was that last year? And I think they're coming out with another one this year. I enjoyed Until Dawn. That came out a few years ago, made by the same developer. And I'm not much of a horror game fan, but I did enjoy these games, and I remember playing Until Dawn like right around Halloween, and that was a treat. Um, but I wonder if I can fast forward here.
I've never been down there before. Down? Diving.
Oop. All right, let's go back to where I was. Dead Space Trilogy. I never played the Dead Space Trilogy. I don't know what this Dead Space Ignition is. I've never even heard of it. But I did download the first Dead Space, so I'm looking forward to checking that out. And I heard they may be coming out with a remake of the original, so I don't know. Maybe should I hold off on playing Dead Space until the remake comes out? I don't know. Of course, they have all the Doom games because now they own Bethesda, which owns id Software, who make Doom. And they got Dragon Age. I've never played Dragon Age. Never played Dragon Quest. So I may check these series out. I know they're pretty long games. UFC. I played a little bit of UFC back a few years ago. Kind of a casual UFC fan, but I do have a buddy that's big into UFC. So maybe I'll play a little bit more UFC. Skyrim. I mean, it's one of my favorite games of all time. Looking forward to Elder Scrolls 6 when that hopefully comes out before, I don't know, before the year 2030, because I don't think it's going to be out for a while. I may try out Morrowind, and I think they have Oblivion on here too. The Fable trilogy. Now, I did download Fable Anniversary, so hopefully I'll give that a try eventually. I played a little bit of Fable back on the original Xbox a very long time ago with a friend, but I don't really remember much from it, so looking forward to jumping into Fable here. And I did download Fallout 3. My first exposure to Fallout was actually Fallout 4, and I did enjoy it. I know it gets some flack from a lot of people, but I thought it was a good game. I don't think I enjoyed it as much as Skyrim, but I did enjoy it, and it was set in the Boston area, which I thought was kind of cool because I live in New England, so I'm quite familiar with Boston. It was kind of cool going to Fenway Park and seeing it turned into like this village. I thought that was kind of neat. Yeah, like I said, I downloaded Forza Horizon 4. I don't know if I'm going to download Motorsport 7. I think that's more like a simulation style game. It's more in line with a Gran Turismo type of game, which never really appealed to me. I'm more into arcadey like racers. I mean, granted, Forza Horizon 4 is simulation, but it's set in an open world, and you can do a lot of exploring with it, which is what I like. Where I think Forza Motorsport is just you're just racing. You're not. It's not an open world game. But I don't know. I may give it a try. Gears of War. I did download Gears of War. Never played Gears of War. I'm actually probably most intrigued to jump into this because I've never played Gears of War. I haven't really seen much of Gears of War. So, and I know these are third-person shooters, which I'm quite familiar with. I probably have more experience with third-person shooters than I do first-person shooters, which is kind of crazy. But just because coming from PlayStation, you have Uncharted, you have The Last of Us. Of course, well, Last of Us is, is a third-person shooter, but you know, you're scarce on resources. It's not like you can go around with like 100 bullets in every gun. But anyway, I'm looking forward to playing Gears of War. Grand Theft Auto 5, I think that's kind of cool. That's on Game Pass here. I played it way back in the day and when it first came out on PS3. I enjoyed the campaign. I thought it was a good time. But I haven't really been compelled to play it since then. I know Grand Theft Auto Online is huge, and I know Grand Theft Auto 5 continues to sell well to this day, and it's like one of the biggest selling video games of all time now. Like it's like in the same breath as like Tetris and Wii Sports and Minecraft, which is pretty crazy. It sold like over 100 million copies. That's so absurd. I hope they come out with a GTA 6 eventually here. It's been a while since I had a new GTA game. And yeah, like I said, Halo Master Chief Collection I got there. The Halo Wars games that I may try out, I think they're more strategy-like games. I never really played too many strategy games, so I don't know if I would really be into it. And then Halo 5 I'll probably try out once I get through the 5 games in the Master Chief Collection. And then Hellblade I played a little bit on PS4. But I didn't really play enough of it to get the full experience. Well, I didn't play the full campaign, I should say. So I'm going to try it out here on the Xbox. And I know Xbox owns the studio that makes the Hellblade games, and they're coming out with a sequel. So I'll probably just, play it to completion on this console since this technically is an Xbox franchise. It's funny seeing Kingdom Hearts on the Xbox platform because for the longest time they were exclusive to PlayStation. But Kingdom Hearts 3 I played and I was a little bit disappointed by. I didn't think it was a bad game. I just think Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 are way better. And Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 are some of my favorite games of all time. But yeah, I was slightly disappointed by Kingdom Hearts 3. I may go back and try it out again. I like I said, I didn't think it was bad. It felt a little bit underbaked. I was a little bit underwhelmed, I should say. I think it's awesome that you can play the latest Madden. I know Madden 22 is coming out in a few months. But if I can, play Madden, NBA 2K, the show on Game Pass and not have to pay $70 to play them every year, that's awesome. And I used to be someone that bought all the sports games every year. I now only buy the show every year because I enjoy the show. I think it's my favorite sports franchise, but Madden, I just kind of... I'm a huge football fan, but Madden is just... It's not the same. Madden was at its peak during the PS2 days, and I feel like ever since it's just not the same product, and there's more of a focus on Ultimate Team modes, which I'm just not a fan of. I enjoy the franchise and career modes. But it'd be awesome if they had Madden 22 on here the day that it comes out, because I definitely am not going to pay $70 for Madden 22. So, but it is nice that I can possibly save some money on sports games and don't have to worry about paying the full price. So that's awesome. So if that, if they're going to release sports games, continue to support sports games on Game Pass here, I'll just play all my sports games on this console. I probably won't play any on my PlayStation. Let me see here. There's Oblivion. Never played Oblivion. Probably will try it out. No Man's Sky. I just noticed they have that. Huh. I know that when that game first came out, a lot of people didn't like it and were disappointed, but I heard they've added a lot more content to it since it came out. So I may install this. I want to give this game a try. This has always been one of these games where, like, I don't know if I want to pay for it, pay the full retail price for it. So I'll just try it out on Game Pass here. And I did download Ori and the Blind Forest. Kind of a cool platformer game, which Xbox doesn't have too many of. I like the art style. Show some gameplay here. Yeah, so this is in game. I like the music. Yeah, and I know Ori, I know Will of the Wisp just came out last year. I did download Outriders here. I know that this came out a few months ago, and people were kind of saying that this is kind of a fun, under-the-radar game. It's a third-person looter shooter. So I'm going to give that a try. Don't know if I'll like it, but I'll give it a try. I played Tales Innocence. I definitely want to try. It's a story-based game where you follow this brother and sister who are living in some part of Europe during the Black Plague. I'm not going to play it on Game Pass here because on PlayStation 5 they're going to have it as a free game for the PlayStation Plus monthly lineup. So I'll be downloading that shortly on my PS5. I did download Psychonauts. Honestly, I don't know too much about it, but I know they're coming out with a sequel, and people have said it's kind of like a quirky platformer. So I'll give it a go. Yeah, so a lot of games here, and a lot of older games, but also some recent games. Sea of Thieves I know is pretty popular. I don't know if I would like it or not, but I know it's popular, and they're coming out with some expansion with Pirates of the Caribbean there soon. I don't know if it already came out, but I'm not really sure what this game is about. I mean, you're a pirate, and I don't really know, but I'm gonna install this and maybe give this a go. You have all these Star Wars games. I did play a little bit of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. I got maybe like halfway through the campaign and stopped playing. I may go back to it eventually. I know they upgraded it for a next gen, so I think it runs at 60 frames now, which I'd be curious to see. I did find the gameplay quite fun. Sunset Overdrive. That's an Insomniac game. The only Insomniac game ever released on Xbox, and it was exclusive to Xbox. Of course, Sony now owns Insomniac, so there'll be no more Insomniac games on Xbox. But I mean, Insomniac historically has been a PlayStation developer. But I definitely want to try out Sunset. Let me download that and just have more games to add to backlog here. And I'm actually playing Ratchet and Clank right now, which of course developed by Insomniac, and I'm really enjoying it. I think it's a system seller for PS5, and anyone that buys a PS5, I think needs to have Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart in their lineup. So, yeah, Insomniac's a great developer. I enjoyed Spider-Man Miles Morales as well. And I imagine I'll enjoy Sunset Overdrive whenever I try that out. They have Titanfall games. I played a little bit of Titanfall 2 a few years ago. I didn't finish the campaign, but I thought it was pretty good. Unravel is... I played maybe the first level, but it has a lot of charm to it, and you play with this cute character. I think his name is Yarny. And it's just a yarn thing where you can throw yarn, and you can climb up the yarn and create bounce pads. But it's really interesting and unique platformer. With a lot of charm to it. The Walking Dead games. I played The Walking Dead Season 1 and 2 when they first released a number of years ago. I probably will go back eventually and try to play through the whole series of Telltale Walking Dead games. I know they had the final season not too long ago, so I'm looking forward to getting into that. And I did download What Remains of Edith Finch. I heard it's like a short story-driven game. I don't really know much about it other than that. But I'll definitely try it out. Yakuza games were just added. I think this is the first time Yakuza games have been on Xbox. But there's a lot. It looks like every game in this series, which is crazy. And these are long games, so I mean, it'd probably take you a whole year to just play through all these games, because you can play one Yakuza game for hundreds of hours. So it's pretty crazy. And that's pretty much it. But pretty strong catalog of games they have on Game Pass here in July of 2021. And I think it's only going to get better over time. And $15 a month, I think that's a heck of a deal for that. And what else can I say about the Series X? I don't mind the main dash here. I think it's okay. I think it's just kind of plain and not too exciting. I kind of miss... I wish there was kind of like background music like the PlayStation consoles have when you're on the home menu. It has like relaxing music. This game, or this console, I should say, doesn't really have that. I think I like the UI. I mean, I don't hate the UI, I should say. I just find the main dash kind of boring and dry. I do like the sub-menus, and I think some of the sub-menus on PlayStation 5 need work, and they need to be patched out and improved. And it's so much easier to just shut off the console, which I know sounds funny, because on the PS5, you can't do a hard press of the home button and go to turn it off. You could on the PS4, but PS5, you can't do that. You have to toggle through this long menu at the bottom of the screen and just go all the way down to the power menu, and I mean, it's a minor gripe, but it's like, I feel like it takes too long to just shut off the console, you know? But no, I don't hate the Xbox UI, and I'm enjoying racking up achievements. As you can see, I don't have much of a gamer score at this point, only 115. But no, I enjoy getting trophies on PlayStation, and I probably will enjoy getting achievements on Xbox here. But other than that, I don't really have much to say at this point. I'm enjoying my Xbox so far. And I'll be curious to see what console I play more this generation. And I'll be curious to see how who holds the market share lead. Of course, PlayStation 5 at this point is outselling Xbox Series X, and PlayStation 4 outsold Xbox One. But I think Xbox is... they're going to make it more interesting with all these studios they're acquiring and all these exclusive games that they're going to have. And that's always been their Achilles heel, is the lack of exclusive games. And I mean, I think that's the number one reason why PlayStation is on top and continues to be on top, is because not the quantity of their exclusives, but the quality. And I think Xbox has set themselves up to have a good quantity of exclusive games. But will those games have the quality of the best exclusives on PlayStation? I don't know. If they can have a game that is as good as God of War or good as The Last of Us, then Xbox, they're going to have a legit horse in this race, and I think they will take some market share away from PlayStation. And I think Xbox Game Pass, it seems like a great service so far. And I think PlayStation will have to answer at some point. I know they have PlayStation Now, but PlayStation Now needs some work, and it's not comparable to Xbox Game Pass at this point. But no, it'll be interesting. And I have all the consoles, and so I should be set for a while here, and hopefully I don't have to buy any new consoles. Fingers crossed that none of the hardware here dies on me. But no, I'm looking forward to this generation, and I think it's an exciting time to be a gamer, and I will definitely have more videos on Xbox to come here, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you in the next video.